Hello my fellow R's and welcome back to another episode of A View from the Loft post-match review with me, P Block Scudze. And if you're wondering why I'm talking like this, it's because of our game against Wigan yesterday. I have given up. I have lost all hope. By the way, I'm back, just like QPR's back to losing ways. So yeah, if you don't know the score already, we lost 1-0 to Wigan, and it was very reminiscent of our first game back against Barnsley. It was shocking. The passing was poor. We barely created any chances. This ain't going to be a long video, trust me. I don't think I can be bothered to talk too much about what I witnessed last night. So yeah, anyway, before we hit the highlights, let's have a look at the lineup from last night's game. So there were two major changes for our game against Wigan. Ote coming in for Hugo, who picked up a hamstring injury after scoring the winner against Middlesbrough on Sunday. And the other major change was Chair came in for Amos. I think this was really going to give us a bit more attack in front. What with Ote having his first start, needing that support. But other than that, the back was all unchanged. And due to Hugo being injured, as well as Wallace still, we only could name 8 substitutes. So there's the lineup. Now let's go and watch the highlights. If you want to skip forward, I don't blame you. So we start off with a Wigan chance. Trust me, this is the first of many that you'll be seeing. Ball into the middle, and Cameron slipped there. Brilliant save by Lumley. Great one to stick out his leg and just stop that ball going in, because realistically that should have been 1-0. Here's chance number 2, and this was horrible because they just split us right open, ball right across the box there. That could have gone to any one of their players. It went straight through everyone, and so many times in the first half they just kept cutting us open on the wings and we just couldn't cope with it at the back. Oh, hold on, I think we've got a chance. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if we can class that as a chance, but the ball was played in, and that's probably about one of the best times we actually got the ball into the box. And it would have been nice if we actually created something properly out of that. Hold on, do we have another chance? Oh yeah, brilliant skill there by Osei, and then he just blasts it straight at the keeper, and that was probably about the best thing that Osei for me did in the game. He did his little trick there to get it round, and then it was such a tame shot that the keeper was always going to pick it up. And then this moment happened. Watch them split us. Look, there are 2 players there waiting. He was never going to miss that. Their striker more. As soon as that ball went through, they split them. I'm going to say it a lot, but they split our defence. As long as he got it on target, he was going to hammer that home, and there's no way Lumley could, stop that. When it's a one-on-one situation like that, and he's getting the ball blasted at him, it could have gone anywhere in that goal, but it went in the goal. So yeah, this was another chance for them. That was KK did get caught out there. Luckily, that went wide, but again, that should have been 2-0. I don't know how many times Wigan should have scored more than what they did, because they were the better team. Guess what, guys? It's another Wigan chance, and I didn't think Kakai touched that. They got a corner out of it. Again, it's him with that hard foot, So, and then this was the moment we had our best chance of the game. Brilliant run down the wing, ball in, and there, whoa, Chair. So where I said before about laces rather than side foot, that was a sort of half and half. I think he wasn't really expecting it because of that deflection off the defender, and that's why he hit it straight down the keeper's throat essentially. But yeah, if he'd have gone right, I think because of the keeper's momentum already shifting into the left, probably would have gone in, would have been back in the game. Not that we deserved it. Another chance for Wigan. Free header. I mean, it's just too easy. It's just too easy, and this is definitely not how we played against Middlesbrough. And that was that. riveting stuff, wasn't it, Oz? I'm so glad I wasted 2 hours of watching that, and I'm now wasting time recording this and editing it and hoping to get some sort of reaction out of it. I don't know anymore. I really don't know. It's just terrible, isn't it? So, with that being said, let's check out the stats. Okay, so well, after that abysmal performance, let's have a look at the stats. Yeah, great, we had more possession, but funnily enough, having more possession doesn't necessarily win you games. It's about the goals, and as you can see from the shots, very poor compared to them. And as it was, most of the highlights there were all about their chances. And I mean, yeah, okay, passing. I'm surprised that that's been rated at 78.5% because the passing was absolutely atrocious. And yet again, you can see no clear-cut chances and only 2 corners, so we haven't really forced the issue there. And so from here, you can just see who wanted more. The tackles, 30% we won compared to their 64%, and aerial duels. Well, we're normally the ones, coming out off of that better, and in that game, 37.8 is so poor. Just goes to show though that Lumley did have a really good game because he did make 5 saves, but even the fouls, it's just terrible all over. So now we've looked at the terrible stats, let's go and look at the terrible player ratings that I've given to the players after yesterday's game with Wigan. Joe Lumley. Lumley I gave a 7. I did think he had a really good game. He made some really good saves and was unlucky with the goal. Nothing he could do about it. A couple of times he was put under pressure as well by our sloppy back passes, but I thought he just about did enough to get a 7 there. Osman Kakai. Osman I gave a 6. He had a really good game for the most part. Second half, there was a few times he was a little bit sloppy, but he did make some really good runs down the wing, so I think it's a fair rating for him. Jeff Cameron I gave a 4. He had an absolute shocker, and I mean, for those that didn't see it at the time, he had a complete airball moment where he kicked himself rather than the ball and completely fell arse over tip. And he really bad game for him because since he's been playing in this position. Johan Barbe I gave a 4 as well. Got caught out of position a few too many times. Did put in a few good blocks, but nothing really to shout home about. Todd Kane I gave a 5. A fairly average game. He wasn't brilliant, but he wasn't as poor as other players. And yeah, he did, did what he could, but I think he can definitely play better. Ryan Manning I gave a 5. I thought his work rate was really good, but again, it wasn't his greatest game, but it wasn't his worst game. Again, could get more out of him on this one. Dominic Ball I gave a 4. I thought he was non-existent in this game, which showed because he got taken off at half time. And his passes and losing the ball a lot, it was definitely not one of his better games, that's for sure. Elias Chair I gave a 5. I thought he had a fairly alright game actually, and he did have a really good chance. Unfortunately, he struck it right at the keeper. Could have done with him scoring that. But yeah, other than that, I thought he tried hard enough, and for me that warrants a 5. Ibire Eze I gave a 4. I thought he lacked in so much of this game. He just didn't look really bothered. He didn't want to shoot when he had the chance. He just looked like he was doing the bare minimum to get through the game. Really poor performance in my view. Not happy at all. Bright Osei Samuel I gave a 4 as well. Again, I just felt like his heart wasn't in it. I know he picked up a bit of a knock in the game against Middlesbrough on his ankle, but there was so many times where he should have been running like a madman down the wing with the ball, especially after Lumley would pump it out to him, and he was just in like second gear most of the game. Really disappointed with him and his end product at the end of the day. Aramide Ote I gave a 4 as well. It wasn't for the want of him not trying. I thought he tried, and he tried to make things work, but he just didn't get any chances. No thanks to Eze or Asai. Samuel, but it just wasn't his game, and I feel sorry for him in that respect because it was his first start, but he just didn't get enough chances and didn't create enough chances in the end for himself. Luke Amos. Amos came on at half time. I gave him a 4. It was another one a bit like Ball, just non-existent in the game. Didn't really do much to change the game when he came on either. So yeah, it was a 4 for me. Olamide Shodipo. Shodipo came on about in the 57th minute. I gave him a 4. He didn't really get himself into the game much. Made a few runs, but didn't really create anything at all. And again, wasn't a great game for him. He definitely played better. Faisal Batashi. Batashi I gave a 4. He came on quite late, so it was about 10 minutes to go, so he wasn't really going to impact the game much in that position. It literally, for what he was on for, that is literally why I'm giving him a 4. Jack Clark. Clark came on at the same time as Shodipo. Again, I gave him a 4. When they both came on, first of all, it looked like we were going to spring into life, but other than that, he didn't really offer much, and he does get knocked off the ball quite easily. He needs to get on the weights, bless him, because that side of his game is just not great. Didn't really make much impact, so I have to stick with the 4 for Jack Clark. So there you go. There were the highlights. Those were the stats. Those were my player ratings. What else is really left to say? It was shocking. It was embarrassing. A lot of players just don't seem like they're either in it or they're just not good enough anymore. There's been a real turnaround again. I mean, all right, the Middlesbrough game wasn't the most prettiest of wins. I get that, but a win's a win. You should be using that to platform then onto the next game. Go into that next game with the confidence of being, of winning a game. It did affect us not having Hugo up front because we didn't have, that big man up front to aim for. Too many times the ball was going over the top, and our guys were never going to win it because, they're 5'0", most of them. No, they're not tall boys at all. So yes, we did miss Hugo in that sense, but the passing was just so shockingly bad. Oh my God. I mean, I've seen Sunday League teams make better passes than what our guys did last night. And it was, either it was over hit, it was under hit, it wasn't to the man, we just gave it away. At the back, they were really giving Lumley some testing times with some of their decisions in passing it back. And then that's the other thing as well. You're 1-0 down. There's not long left to go. And what are we doing? Passing it back, passing it back, passing it back. For God's sakes, go forward. There is a chap who sits behind me in P block, and for those of you that know him, he loves to shout out, forward, all the time. Last night, I was in complete agreement with him, and I had him in the back of my head shouting out forward because too many times we were so quick and easy just to pass it back and pass it sideways. How are we going to create chances if we keep passing it back? Yeah, right, it means we keep possession, but possession doesn't win you games. But possession doesn't get you points. Goals and chances, they get you the points, And it's just, I'm not even like stupidly angry. I'm just really miffed, if anything, And like Eze, he knows he's going to go in the summer. So to me, like last night, all he was doing was just the general basics. Gets him through the game. That way, he won't get subbed. Although, no, he didn't get subbed. I don't know. He did get subbed. Sorry, but he just didn't do enough. And then he's coming back too deep. And with his back to the goal, he's then laying the ball off backwards, not trying to turn, not trying to run at the opposition. I just don't get it. Very disheartening last night. Very, very disheartening. Okay, we've got a few games left to go. We should be safe. We're certainly not going up. We're certainly not getting in the playoffs. But even if we was to finish 13th, that's not an achievement. If anything, it's underwhelming. At one point we were looking to push for the playoffs. If we'd have finished like 8th, 9th, I'd have been ecstatic. I've said that before, and I'm sure you guys remember that. to finish 13th, that's no better than what we did under Holloway. And that was the last time we did well in this league, other than, you know, winning the playoffs. So, yeah, really not happy. Well, that's enough from me. I can't be bothered to talk anymore about this. Guys, you know what to do. If you like the video, make sure you give it a like. Not that I would blame you for not liking it. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe and the bell notifications so you can keep up to date with all my latest videos when they happen. Other than that, guys, I will be back for our next game against Sheffield Wednesday at home. God knows how that's going to go down. But other than that, as always, come on, you R's.